All right, let's start. My name is Oskar. I'm the CEO co-founder of Alter. So far, we have built a communication platform which is safe and private for our users. But today I want to speak about more of blockchain and also how blockchain can actually be the next innovation leap towards the startups, because I truly believe that startups are one of the biggest sectors what can be achieved in terms of innovation, and I think blockchain is the next digital age when it comes to data processing and storage. So let's start with the problem. One of the biggest problems actually here in our digital age is that we are combining our digital tools to produce more and more data every single day. This means that actually our data then is being stored onto the internet. What happens to the data itself? Well, either it's being processed or it's being stored or it's being shared. In any case, it is being shared with everything else when it comes to data analysis, application owners, different other marketing, analytical groups. But all these so-called data places that we are storing and sharing, they have vulnerabilities, and we cannot make a single one entity where the data can be trustable, but yet it can be decentralized, and yet the data can be protected by the users themselves. And of course, the cybercrime have been estimated around $10.5 trillion in the next coming 3 years. But in regards of the data, we see that the vulnerability that we are having in digital age is actually very challenging when it comes to companies, especially startups, where I would say the experts in technology security is lacking. And definitely also how data can be actually used in more new ways. And I would say blockchain is actually offering you complete new ways. And also, why blockchain? In simple words, I want to explain what is blockchain. So blockchain started as a cryptography in 1990s. And then it transformed into Bitcoin in 2008 by Satoshi Nakamoto. So he wrote in the white paper that it is the new age of the internet. So it is the new money, but after the money also comes new innovations. And with blockchain, we can use the so-called system to decentralized way of storing, and at the same time we are verifying every single action on the internet by applications through blocks. Blocks of each of the blockchain are then connected by creating another block that is so-called the next block that is then validated on the network. So there are no possible ways how you can hack or cheat the system. Either ways, the consensus or the so-called network's data consistency will be failed, and the network will not work. So it's pretty easy to understand whether the networks are trustable or not. If they have downtimes, I mean, then something is wrong. But when it comes to blockchain itself, people mostly relate to crypto, tokens, Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. It's not only about the cryptocurrencies, it's more than that. It is actually technology that allows us to store the data in a chronological way. As well, we can really impact on how we actually are utilizing the internet and also applications, because with blockchain we can definitely create a so-called very impactful way how each of the companies existing now with the services can be connected easily and also use other products and services at the same time without sacrificing any trust in between the companies and also the security of the data itself. And definitely we are removing any third parties that we don't need. And definitely also the data is on your side. And either you can create a way how you can monetize your data finally, because now it's the opportunity for you to monetize it without any restrictions. And it's not only for fintech, because blockchain is actually, I would say, the next step for impacting, I would say, 65 biggest industries. And I want to share those industries. In general, when we look at the startup case, we see that innovations can only happen when a new company or startup is creating a new business model, a new business case, and impacting the industry. And blockchain technology at this level stage of development, it is possible to position your startup in reaching out to completely new markets, to reach out to product market fit much more sooner, and as well to get your beachhead verified. And at the same time, blockchain networks can actually give you grants for building the prototype, so you're not risking your time and money just for that. So after you have made the so-called prototype, verified the beachhead, it is much more faster also to fundraise. On average, when we compare the traditional companies, startups, ways of fundraise, it takes around 4 up till 5 months. In the blockchain, so-called Web3 space, it is reduced at least by 50%. That takes up till 2 months to fully fundraise your project. And it's not small amounts of fundraise if you can really deliver on what kind of problem you're trying to solve. And the use case of a startup, let's take, for example, the tickets. Everybody loves to go to concerts, but at the same time, if we see like a great or favorite musician or artist performing, usually these platforms has like a lot of problems when it comes opening the so-called selling the tickets at specific time, at specific date. On blockchain side, people can now actually reserve, pay more, and marketplaces can actually do plenty enough new features along the way. One of that is, again, to reserve tickets with your wallets. You can deposit them and the money can be released. Another way of utilizing the blockchain there is that the resellers will have a trustable and safe environment for selling the tickets to somebody else. And of course, the marketplace can also put some margin on it. And this is a way how the so-called industry of like ticket selling can be completely changed with the verifiable and trustable environment. And of course, the so-called performance of the platform itself will not be under pressure. And another case is, of course, emissions. It is a very hot topic at the moment, how we can reduce the emissions and also become more green, energy friendly, etc. With blockchain, now it's possible to plug in your so-called electricity generation. If you are producing at least some small amount or larger amount of energy at your household, with Power Ledger you can connect so-called your leftover of energy, and you can sell it directly to other households. So it's like a peer-to-peer marketplace for energy. So that means you don't need to do anything from so-called the grid service provider to have multiple agreements, to pay a lot of fees and taxes along the side. But with blockchain, you can easily transaction online with the energy. And definitely it is shortening the supply chain and also improving the whole user experience in this industry. Another one is actually real estate. I would say real estate is one of the biggest topics in blockchain because Real estate has, I would say, so many things to deal with, starting from acquiring, for example, a property, then actually building a plan out what to be built there. Then you need to confirm everything with all the third parties, and if you're taking a loan at the bank, it will be much more easier with the blockchain, because you can get all these verifications and store as a proof of confirmation for all the parties. And also when it comes to real estate development and also selling it, it will be much more easier and transparent for the end buyer, because end buyer wants to see like what kind of materials, where it has been built, when it was built, who are the builders. And also it will be possible to sell either for a large increased price, or it will be much more like on the quality side built household. So there are so many possibilities that you can now finally ditch Excels in the banks, where I used to also use Excel sheet to pay out the loan based on the progress of the housing development. So basically now it will be possible without any Excels. You can already check, and it can be automated, so-called payment out for the banks as well. And I would say one of the biggest industry, if you're not confident about blockchain, is healthcare. I think one of the use cases that healthcare can be impacted with blockchain is actually creating your identity and also attaching your healthcare historical records. But there's a catch. In order for you to be secure and also private, you need to have your encryption key. So-called encryption key, your private key, is on your side. So basically, I'm putting all my medical history onto blockchain, and then I have my own so-called wallet that have all the information about myself. And if I want to give out to a specific doctor, I have already confirmed and proved historical record of my health. And it will be much more easier for my next or new doctor or any other pediatrician to make a decisive decision much more faster, because again, when it comes to healthcare, it is a matter of speed, how much of information the so-called general practitioner can obtain, and with this way it will be possible to have it. And also with pharmacy, it's the same style when it comes to providing actually smaller pharmaceutical company manufacturers to provide their so-called medicine, because majority of the market is dominated by very large pharmacy manufacturers, and for smaller ones it is much more difficult to get in the market with new products that are much more better and improved. And of course, we are currently in the stage of building an alternate network that is completely dedicated to helping startups and also traditional companies to transition onto the blockchain. But at the same time, we're also going to be offering compute power for all the applications. On our side, we will not care what kind of language your smart contract or what kind of language your current traditional application is built, because it will be possible to interact with the blockchain with your existing applications. Of course, if you're going to be building completely new business idea, we are more than happy to consult you and support you along the way, either with development or either with support. We have also been creating 65 biggest industry change business plans. So if you're keen on creating your idea by end of this year, then definitely contact us. We have also networks with VCs. We have also possibilities in later stages to give out grants. And definitely we want to transition more the startup world to the innovations. And one of the biggest also things is that your so-called application can be permissioned or permissionless. What does it mean? Either you can use your own validator to deploy your smart contract or the code itself, or you can use any validator onto the network. And also we're going to be maintaining service level agreements for companies and as well for validators. We're going to be bringing on the KYC, so all the traditional companies and startups can trust us and also can trust the network and the performance. In conclusion, what we have learned about is, of course, blockchain and also about startups. So what we can do with blockchain is to get to new markets, to verify your product idea much more faster, also to get fundraised much more faster. And it is a new way and secure way to impact the data world and also to create multiple applications that are changing a lot of industries. Thank you. If you have any questions, I'm more than welcome to answer them. If not, I'm going to be here today until 4 o'clock. Definitely come to Alter Network area downstairs. I'm going to be there. If you have anything to discuss or you want to partner, more than welcome. Approach me and my team. So thank you so much.